It is true that when Maple Leafs fan John Tavares scored the Game 6 overtime clincher against Tampa Bay, massive celebrations across Toronto followed closely. However, things have done a complete 180 since then. The Leafs find themselves down 0-2 to the underdog Florida Panthers in the second round following consecutive home losses. That is not the outcome Toronto was hoping for, but they need to remain focused and find a way to turn the series around. Things looked promising for the Leafs in their home opener against Florida, but the Panthers fought back hard. Finishing up the 4-2 loss, most fans were left disappointed. They regrouped, however, determined to turn things around and return the favor in Game 2. The start to the Panthers matchup was flying, as Toronto built an early 2-0 lead. But after a few mistakes throughout the game, the Leafs couldn't sustain the momentum and fell short due to the excellent form of goalie Sergei Bobrovsky, who was showing glimpses of his Vezina Trophy nods he had received earlier in his career. The message has been loud and clear since the loss stayed the course. Despite the fact that Toronto's offense has only combined for 8 goals in the last 4 games, the high-octane offense is still determined to find their way. Mitch Marner states, "We're getting our looks, we're getting our chances. Eventually we're gonna get the result." Toronto has experienced much better luck on the road, where they have gone perfect 3-0 in the Tampa series with a trio of overtime wins, rather than the 1-4 mark through 5 games at the Scotiabank Arena. This might be attributed to the fact that the Leafs didn't make the careless mistakes in tough moments away from home the way they have been at home. Toronto's coach, Sheldon Keefe, stated that, "Being on the road this time of year is simpler. When you leave the arena on the road, you're with your teammates, you're back to the hotel, you're resting. It's a very controlled environment." One thing that leaves questions to be answered is the physical response many feel should be made towards Florida center Sam Bennett, who was left unpunished for taking down Matthews Knies in Game 2 and knocking the Toronto rookie out with a concussion. Pressed on what an appropriate response could be, Toronto defenseman Luke Schenn's champion's path is never easy, he stated. "I don't think there's ever been a team in the history of the NHL who's not gone through the playoffs and had great runs without going through adversity. That could be dealing with injuries, that could be being down in series. I've never experienced or seen a playoffs that are totally smooth sailing. If you get through the adversity and you pull through it, it does make you better in the end, and it makes you stronger. It's just how you respond to it." Toronto's Ilya Samsonov showed obvious emotions while at practice on Saturday. Despite his frustration and his strange outburst to reporters after Game 2 when asked about Bobrovsky's strong play, Samsonov remains focused on doing what is necessary to win the next 2 games and turn the series around. But no matter what Toronto does, it will be difficult to overcome the obstacle at hand. Usually, the only time a team turns around a 0-2 deficit is if it's able to bring out its best game. Now is the time for the Leafs to prove that they have the skill and determination to do that. With just 5 teams in the NHL's history able to overcome this obstacle, the stakes are high and the odds are against Toronto. Regardless, the team is optimistic and confident and determined to return to Toronto with a chance for victory. With the series shifting to Florida for Game 3, the world will be watching to see if the Maple Leafs can muster the same energy they had when they were victorious against Tampa Bay and turn the tables on Florida. Let the games begin.